Okay, in the last lecture, I introduced 4 styles of communication and talked about dominators. In this lecture, I want to present the accommodator and avoider styles. Accommodators put the opinions, needs, and feelings of others ahead of their own. The kind of behaviors we see from them include silent treatment if they get into conflict, deferring to others, shutting down, giving in, appeasing, harmonizing, taking the blame, placating, pleading, apologizing. Whereas dominators don't like to lose, accommodators don't like to be disliked or rejected. What other people think about them often is more important than what they think about themselves, so they get wrapped up in being nice. They try to get other people to change by using more indirect tactics. They communicate messages like, "What do you want? I want you to feel good about this. It's really not that important to me. I may be wrong, but is that okay with you? Let's just try to get along here. I just can't seem to. What do you need?" Accommodators are trying to not offend. They hope that by being nice, they can not only avoid rejection and criticism, but that others will see how nice they are and eventually come around and support them. Over time, accommodators may feel and act like martyrs. They may pout. They may get sick. They might become depressed or act out their feelings in more passive-aggressive and subtle kinds of ways. These are people who tend to be polite, easy to get along with, non-judgmental, sometimes passive, oftentimes self-aware. Well, avoiders, on the other hand, tend to minimize differences. Avoiding behaviors include things like denying the seriousness of a problem, suppressing their feelings, using humor to distract, minimizing. It's kind of like business as usual, dismissing, escaping. Avoiders don't like conflict, and in particular, they don't like the strong emotions that conflict brings, so they try to pretend that everything is okay. Their strategy is to leave issues alone and just hope that they'll go away. So they say things like, "It's no biggie," "Let's not make a mountain out of a molehill," "What's the problem?" "You're cute when you get mad," "I said I was sorry, let's be logical about this." They communicate the message, "Let's pretend that everything is okay." They don't want to make waves. They hope that by glossing over a situation, it'll go away. Because they have a hard time dealing with emotional issues, their relationships tend to not be as deep. They don't disclose their true selves to other people, but seek to play it safe. Avoiders tend to be more easygoing, independent, rational, and detached. Well, unfortunately, the long-term consequences of any of these 3 styles that I've been talking about, not all the time, but during conflict, are harmful. Dominators may get their way, but they set up an unsafe and adversarial atmosphere of me versus you, us versus them, which causes other people to feel resentment and ill will. Accommodators withhold valuable information about their own opinions and needs, which limits the quality of decision-making and leaves them eventually feeling like pawns or even martyrs who can't influence what's going on around them. Avoiders direct conversations away from unsafe topics and so prevent people from talking about deeper things and more important issues. Well, the net effect of all of these styles is that performance suffers, problems go unsolved, and in companies, employees tend to be less productive and more unhappy. Of course, dominating, accommodating, and avoiding aren't the only choices that are available during conflict. A 4th, better alternative is collaboration. Collaborators, as I said earlier, are high on the 2 dimensions of behavior. They care about their point of view, but they also care about the point of view of others. They recognize their own authority and don't let pleasing other people override their opinions. Yet they're also optimistic about people's capabilities and motives, and so willing to go to them and talk openly to work things out. They step up to difficult situations, difficult conversations when differences of opinion exist. But they always do so seeking win-win outcomes rather than giving in or imposing their will on other people. The truth is that collaboration is the most difficult of the 4 styles, and most of us have a tendency to fall back on one of the other 3 styles, dominating, accommodating, or avoiding, especially when things get hot. Although all of us are adept at all 3 of the styles, depending upon the situation, we'll use any of them, depending on who we're with. We usually have one that we would consider our natural conflict style. It's our fallback, especially when things get tough. So in the next video, I'm going to be presenting to you some situations, and I want you to practice them by thinking about how each of the styles would handle them. And I'll see you there.